Romance of the Three Kingdoms Chapter 15. Sun Ce clashes with Taisher Ci. He moves south to create his own kingdom. Zhang Fei is about to slit his own throat, but Xuanda grabs the sword from him and throws it away, crying out, "There's an ancient saying, brothers are like one's own hands and feet, whereas family are like the clothes you wear. Clothes can be repaired, but who can replace a missing limb?" We three swore an oath in the peach orchard that we would seek to die side by side on the same day, never mind what life threw at us. Today, it's true, the city is lost, and my family as well. But this won't stop us from journeying together along the path we have chosen, right to the very end. Let's be frank, the city was never really mine, and Lu Bu won't harm my family. Indeed, he'll protect them. I won't let you throw away your life because of one mistake. So saying, he wept, and so too did Guanzhong. Meanwhile, the world is full of conspiracies. Hearing about Lu Bu's success in capturing Shuzhou, Yuan Shu offers fabulous gifts to encourage Lu Bu to attack Xuanda. Just in time, Xuanda hears about the plot and escapes, fleeing to Guangling, which he besieges. To the fury of Lu Bu, Yuan Shu refuses to send the promised gifts. "Xuanda is still free," says Yuan Shu. "The gifts will come when Xuanda is not free but your prisoner." At this, Lu Bu, angry and disillusioned, decides to team up with Xuanda instead. Yuan Shu's troops have converged on Guangling and have inflicted heavy losses on Xuanda's men after besieging the town. Having had to abandon the siege, Xuanda is grateful for the offer of support from Lu Bu, but this generous view is not shared by his two brothers. Despite their opposition, Xuanda returns to Shuzhou, and en route he meets his wives, whom Lu Bu has freed and sent to him as a sign of good faith. Even though they report that Lu Bu has protected them and looked after them, Zhang Fei's loathing of Lu Bu does not abate one iota. Indeed, it increases. One of those who comes to visit Yuan Shu's court is Sun Ce, whose own court has grown even more famous as a place of learning and statesmanship. Yuan Shu throws a great celebration for him and comments, "If I had a son like him I could die happy." However, despite such a compliment, all is not well. Sun Ce feels Yuan Shu has slighted him with his patronizing airs and attitudes during the celebration. That night he is pacing up and down in the pale moonlight. In truth, he feels he is a lesser man than his murdered heroic father. Troubled by this, he sighs out loud. "What's the problem?" asks a man who has just walked onto the terrace. "When troubled, your father often asked for my advice." The speaker is Zhu Ji, one of Yuan Shu's commanders. Just as they start talking, another man joins them, Lu Fan. He is one of Yuan Shu's advisors. They gently persuade him to assert himself, independent of Yuan Shu, and between them hatch a plot. The next day Sun Ce goes to talk with Yuan Shu. Using the imperial seal, which Sun Ce still holds, he persuades Yuan Shu to lend him 3,000 men and 500 cavalry. "My father's murder has yet to be avenged," he says. "And I'm worried about the safety of my mother and family held now by Liu Yao. I can protect them against the enemy with these troops, and to show my gratitude I will leave the imperial seal with you as a token of trust." Yuan Shu has long wanted control of the imperial seal, but, pretending it is of little interest to him, he takes it and gives Sun Ce the required troops. Leaving the seal with Yuan Shu, Sun Ce sets off with the troops. En route he is joined by his childhood companion and friend Zhou Yu, who comes with his own army. He also brings the recommendation that in planning the attack they should seek the assistance of a pair of brothers who could read the auspicious and ill-fated auguries of heaven and earth. Meanwhile, the prefect Liu Yao, a member of the imperial family, hears that news of his ill treatment of Sun Ce's family has reached Sun Ce. Then news comes that he is on his way with an army. So Liu Yao plans his defenses. He sends men to protect the river crossing of Niuzhu, but there they are defeated with huge loss of life. Sun Ce is able to advance and to directly confront Liu Yao and his main army. That night Sun Ce has a dream. In the dream he hears the founder of the later Han summoning him to a temple dedicated to his memory. When morning comes he asks his advisors where this temple might be. When he is told it is to the south, close to where Liu Yao is encamped, they advise him not to go there. But he is insistent, saying, "I want to pray to him, and the gods will protect me. Why should I be afraid?" So saying, and taking just 12 guards, he rides to the temple and prays for success. As his men feared, he is spotted by the enemy. However, Lu Yao is convinced that this sudden exposure of his enemy so close by must be a trap. He is trying to get us to come out into the open and then will ambush us. But Taisher Xiai, the great warrior, is dying for a fight. Ignoring Lu Yao's pleas to stop, and with only one other, rather minor commander joining him, Taisher Xiai rides out to fight Sun Tzu. He and Sun Tzu go 50 rounds without either gaining the upper hand. Given that Sun Tzu has 12 guards with him and Taisher Xiai only one, he lures Sun Tzu away from his guards by feigning flight. When Taisher Xiai turns, the fight starts again, only it grows more and more desperate. Blow after blow rains down until they are both knocked from their horses. But still they fight, struggling on the ground. The fight only stops when soldiers from both sides ride up and separate them. This bitter feud shapes the encounters between the two armies as the battles rage across the countryside. Subterfuge is employed by both sides until at last Taisher Xiai is captured and brought before Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu greets him as a true hero, and this deeply moves Taisher Xiai. "If you had captured me when we fought by the temple," asked Sun Tzu, "would you have killed me?" To this Taisher replies, "I really don't know." Laughing at this, Sun Tzu invites him to dine with him. Moved by this virtuous man, Taisher Xiai says, "Lu Yao's troops are disheartened and divided. If you'll trust me, I can go and bring them over to your side." And sure enough, Sun Tzu does trust him, and Taisher Xiai recruits thousands of the enemy troops to join Sun Tzu. Moving across the river into the south, Sun Tzu's army at first spreads panic and chaos, but soon people see that this army never steals anything, nor harms any of the ordinary folk. So grateful are the people that they themselves bring food and drink to the camp. Moving further south, Sun Tzu comes up against various conspirators, thugs, rebels and bandits, all of whom want to try to ride on his coattails and seize part of the south. Sun Tzu's response is always swift and severe, and battle after battle is won by him, aided now by Taisher Xiai. Between them they capture the cities of Jiaxing, Wuqing and Wujuan among others. While all this is going on, Sun Tzu's brother Sun Quan and his companion Zhou Tai are guarding Xuanqing. Out of the blue they are suddenly attacked at dead of night by robbers who have holed up in the mountains. The attack is so unexpected and sudden that Zhou Tai is in bed when the sound of battle reaches him. With no time to dress and therefore naked, Zhou Tai fights with astonishing bravery and even manages to rescue Sun Quan. Severely wounded, Zhou Tai is barely alive when he is brought at last to Sun Tzu's camp. Deeply concerned for the well-being of such a hero, Sun Tzu orders a search for the best possible doctor. He is recommended to Hua Tuo. What a man! It is as if he is already an immortal, so profound is his knowledge. He examines Zhou Tai and declares that this is not a difficult case. Using herbal remedies and medicines he has healed Zhou Tai within a month. Enraged by the attack on Sun Quan and Zhou Tai, Sun Tzu sets out to destroy the mountain robbers. In a swift campaign he eradicates the thugs of the mountain. With that achievement under his belt he goes on to strengthen his hold on key places, reporting to the court on his triumphs, making contact with Cao Cao and finally demanding that Yuan Shu return the imperial seal. This Yuan Shu has no intention of doing. He plans to seize the imperial throne himself, and possession of the imperial seal is, of course, of immense significance. He also feels Sun Tzu is in his debt for his having lent the original troops, which have made all Sun Tzu's conquests possible. He deeply resents what he sees as Sun Tzu's lack of gratitude. Yuan Shu is determined to have his revenge and asks the advice of his council. The advice is that Sun Tzu is far too strong for him at present. Instead, advisor Yang Dajiang suggests attacking Xuanda. "I have a plan that will ensure the fall of Xuanda, and then we can attack Sun Tzu." Is this wise? As the poem says, instead of attacking the tiger in the east, he decided to attack the dragon in the north. So what is this grand plan that is recommended to Yuan Shu? Read on and find out.